Good morning, everyone. Uh, Let us start. So today, okay, can you hear me? I hope you all can hear me. So today we will start about Java programming. So basically, we are going to start our syllabus. Our syllabus has already started actually. In previous classes, you are discussed about what is object oriented programming. So I hope you have understood that object oriented programming is how we can now why it is called a object oriented programming. These things, some things will have to be discussed in practical, like you may be asking, sir, what keyword I will use, or what is the syntax, whether the syntax is using any loop or not. So these things will be discussed in practical, but theoretically it is, you have to understand that it is a data type. What we are discussing in this subject, your subject OOP, basically you will be discussing a particular data type that can combine data and function together. Okay, so like array, we have a data type, it's a derived data type, array. So just think that what will happen if array becomes a subject in your syllabus. Just suppose there is a semester, some semester number x, where array is a subject. Okay, so similarly in that concept, in this particular subject there is a data type called class that is itself a subject. Now there are certain benefits of this data type, that's why you have to study it as a subject. This particular data type that we are discussing, where we combine data and function together. Okay, it has certain advantages, it has certain properties. These properties is what makes it little special as compared to other data types. If you study about data structure like array, it has and you know what is a function. So we combine data and function together. Now what is the use of this data and function together? We already discussed that it is like a gateway. If you have a function, so how to invoke a function, you have understood, means you the particular function concept you are clear, that when you have a function you have to invoke a function. Yes, function do not start automatically. Okay, you have to invoke a function, you have to call the function, and when the function is invoked, it is executed. So it is a sub program. Now if you have a data in integer x, now if you have a function, you have to invoke the function, and inside that function you can write your program to increment x or decrement x, or sort x in reverse order, or search the maximum value in the x, or search a substring that is present in the data x. Suppose x is some data, it may be a string or character or array or itself a class. So whatever it is, if you have a function and x is your data and someone is invoking the function, so you can control how your user will use the x. Yes, now if you have no function and you allow the user to have direct access to x, then you lose that particular control. If you have to, like we have discussed just last class, if you have a program to do deadlock programming and without function and without the concept of function, I am not coming to class, just think about function, a simple function that will do your mutual exclusion, that will do your resource distribution. Okay, that is your OS, whatever you have learned without the function. Suppose without a function you do, then all the x, the data x will be given to different number of users or different number of processes. But if you have a function, and all the process has to invoke that particular function to use the resource x. Then you will have the proper control that how many times x has been invoked. So you will know that my resource number is 5 and x can be invoked not more than 5 times, but so that you can only control when you have a function. Without a function, if someone is using this particular data x, you have no control. You don't know how many times x has been increased. If you have a variable x is equal to 5 and after some time you see x is equal to 10, then you don't know how from 5 it has come to 10, whether you have done 5 plus 3 plus 2, whether you have done 5 plus 1 plus 4, whether you have done 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that you don't know. But if you have a function, then you can do it. You can verify and update that particular data. So now when you have data and function together, that means these functions are specially written for those data only. So data and function together means these data are not allowed to be operated from any other function. That is the purpose. This has lot of advantages, it has lot of characteristics. So that was our revision what we have done till now. So today we will discuss one programming language, that is our Java, and how Java is useful, and Java is a object oriented programming language. So object oriented programming language means it is a class based programming language. So you can see here in the left side we have a Java program written in the Windows operating system. So all of we are using a Windows operating system. So when we write a Java program in the Windows operating system, the compiler of the Java is generate a class file that is also called bytecode. Now this bytecode is converted into Windows, is also the same bytecode is also converted to Unix, and the same bytecode is also can be converted into Mac, and we get the same output for all. But that is not true for other technology. If you use a C program, if you run a C program, or if you run a C++ program, then the C++ program, C++ is also a class based program, Java is also a class based program. What is the advantage of Java over C++ is when you are using a C++, the program you write in Windows can only be run executed in Windows. The program you write in Unix can only be executed in Unix. Now in our operating system lab and data structure lab, you have done your program in Linux lab. If some of you have copied your program, the object file, not the source file, not your source file, that is not the .c file, but the object file, if you copy your object file of the Unix and run it in Windows, it will not run. Similarly, a program written in Windows, you run in Unix, it will not run. That is the problem of the C and C++. But what Java is, when we write a Java program in Windows operating system, then the Java program, it creates a class file. It creates a class file. This class file, like we have text file, we have mp3 file, we have mp4 file. So Java, it output a class file. This the extension is dot class. So this is also called bytecode. This bytecode is converted into Unix. It can be also the same bytecode is converted to Windows, same bytecode is converted to Unix, same bytecode is converted to Mac. Now the best example you can do for here means some of the examples. If you have done your Unix program in your operating system program or your data structure program, if you suppose you write your program in Unix in your Linux lab, the same program when you type in your home in your Windows laptop, sometimes some error has appeared, means the program has no error, it is always error free. But when you execute it, when you run it, that time it says that some library is not found, some library is missing. Okay, so suppose now what happens, you write your program in Windows, suppose some faculty gave you some assignment, you executed your assignment in your laptop that is having Windows, and you bring the assignment and run in the Linux lab. If you have done it before, then you will not get the output. If you run the Windows program, the program was given error free, no error, every output is correct, and when you bring it into the Unix and you execute it, then it have a tendency to show some error. Not for all, I am not saying for all student, but some student. Why it happens, because both are developed by different industry. Windows is developed by Microsoft, Unix is developed by the free open source Linux Foundation, this that particular organization they have developed. So Windows has a different set of instructions, Unix has a different set of instruction. Similarly, Mac means the Apple machine, they have a different set of instruction. Now if all the system have the same set of instruction, if Windows is also having the same set of instruction, if Unix also has the same set of instruction, Mac also, means you have used Windows and Unix yourself, you have experienced Windows and Unix yourself, you know that what is the feel, means when you type a program or when you do a simple operation, means what is the feel in the Windows is different from what we feel in the Unix. It's completely different. Okay, that means if it is a complete, like you have, when you're driving a bike, you know how to drive a bike. If you know how to drive a bike, uh, okay, you know how to drive a car, okay, you know how to walk. So let us forget about driving and this, we know how to walk. Okay, we know. Now we know we are wearing very nice, means our shoes, very canvas shoes. Now if we know how to walk, okay, but if someone tells you climb a hilly mountain, can you able to climb? But it is the same thing, we have to climb the mountain, we have to climbing mountain means what, walking means what, that it is only vertical, mountain is only vertical, but we are using our feet to walk, but we cannot walk. If someone tells you to cross the river, can you cross the river? Why, what is the problem? We know how to walk. River, below the river, you have to walk. Okay, forget the river, when we have flood in our city, can we walk? It is difficult. We can walk, but the feel is difficult. We know how to walk, the feel is difficult. And then what we have to do now, if we have to walk on the mountain, or we have to take some special gear, spike shoes and this thing, we have to do some modification. Simply just barefoot if you walk, it will be difficult, you may slip down. Similarly, when you have to cross the river, or when you have to cross this our floods in the city, then you have to take some precautionary measures, like you have to get hold of, you have to get hold of some stick or something like that, so that you don't fall off, or all the stuff, means you can understand. So similarly, in our softwares also, when we develop a software, it is made to run in one particular platform, in one particular device, or in one particular system. The same is cannot work for Unix, it is totally different. You have to if you have to develop a program to run in Unix, you have to do it from beginning again, from first to last again. Okay, but Java is what, Java, you think it is like a hybrid. When it is like a hybrid, nowadays you have seen some hybrid cars, they can fly. If it is a traffic jam, just the wings will come out of the car, and the car just can go and clear the traffic and go in front of the car. all the cars, and then it drive away. And there are some examples like recently I have seen in Facebook, Russian army, they have developed a truck. You must also have seen that can drive in the means in the road also, and when there is a river, the same truck, it does not do anything, it just goes on top of the river, and the truck becomes a like a boat, it do not sink down, and it just goes on, it just goes and nicely, and it crosses, it can cross the river. You have seen similarly, you have seen some other also aeroplanes also, some aeroplanes they can land on water, but not all aeroplanes can land on water. Some aeroplanes they can land on water also, some aeroplanes can land on the means our land also. So hybrid, so the hybrid, so Java is also hybrid. Once you develop a Java program, you can run the same program in the Windows without changing a single line of the program. You can run the Java program in the Windows also, in the Unix also, in the Mac also. Okay, so the Java program, that is when you write it, when you execute the Java program, when you get the output, this particular intermediate file, this is the intermediate file, this is called bytecode. There is a intermediate file which is known as the bytecode. These bytecode can be converted into Unix output. The same bytecode is converted to Windows output, and the same bytecode can be converted to Mac output. So what is this JVM? Java, you understand JVM. Now the topic is Introduction to Java, JVM, design of JVM compiler. What is this JVM? This JVM is Java Virtual Machine. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. Now virtual drive you must have installed somewhere. You must have installed virtual these things, virtual operating system and this and that. So virtual means what, or you must have heard of this terminology, virtual reality. Virtual reality means Apple phone provides virtual reality, or you must have seen some 3D movie. Jungle Book is a 3D movie. Then Fast Furious, these are some 3D movie. Then some 3D movies. So this is virtual, it is not real, but it is made programmatically virtual. So similarly, Java virtual machine, okay, just understand it is a virtual machine. Now what we understand by a machine, machine means our Intel Pentium Intel octa-core, it is a machine. Intel octa-core is a machine. Intel core to dual core is a machine. Octa-core is a machine. Quad core is a machine. i3, Intel i3. You have heard these terms, yes or no? What we mean by octa-core? What we mean by dual core? What we mean by this i3, i5? These are the name of the motherboard available in the PCs, laptops. These are some of the name of the means the latest motherboards. Some of the more popular motherboards, i3, i5. So this is a machine. That is what I mean by the machine. Okay, that is the hardware of our system. That is the hardware of the laptop. This is a physical. That is a physical machine. When you run your any software, it is executed based upon that hardware. If you have a 32-bit hardware, some systems are 32-bit hardware, some systems are 64-bit hardware. Some laptops, new laptops are 64-bit laptop. Some old laptops, if your parents have laptops, you have seen it is a 32-bit laptop. Or if you yourself you have buy laptop at least 2017 2018, then those laptops, some of the laptops will be 32-bit laptop. So what happens is when you install a software, some software is supported, some software is not supported. Some is supported in 64 bits, some is not supported in 30. So this is the physical hardware. Physical hardware, when you cannot change the physical hardware. You cannot change it. You have to upgrade it, then you have to remove, you have to open the hardware, you have to open everything. you have to open everything, you have to upgrade it. So that is the problem in the physical hardware. Physical hardware, your mobile smartphone, now if a smartphone, if you have to upgrade the phone, then you have to change it some hardware. You have to upgrade from 3G to 4G. Then your 3G phone you have to sell, you have to exchange your 3G phone and bring the 4G phone. Now 4G phone has come, 5G is going to come. So what will happen? You have to exchange the 4G phone and get a new 5G phone. Why is this happening? Because hardware is cost is less, and hardware is always changing. Hardware is not constant, hardware will always, and this will be always happening. When we have a phone, after 2 3 years, after 2 years, cost of a phone is the 10,000 to 15,000, 20,000, but after 2 years it is not supported, it is not going to support most of the technology. It is why it is not going to support? Because the hardware, once the hardware is made, it is much expensive to upgrade the hardware compared to buy a new phone. So if your new technology comes tomorrow, suppose 5G technology comes tomorrow, so your 4G phone you have to you cannot upgrade it. But software, you have seen software, Facebook, WhatsApp, always upgrade. Antivirus, always upgrade. You can change it, you can upgrade it as many long you want. Your whole lifetime you can use one Windows 8 you upgrade, it becomes Windows 10. Windows 10 you upgrade, Wi-Fi you upgrade, it becomes Windows 13, and you can continue. But your hardware, your laptop, your mobile, you cannot change it. It is a physical hardware. So now when people are writing our software, when people writing program, software, this particular program, every program is executed in the physical hardware. It means without the hardware our laptop is blank. Can we execute something? Can we execute anything? Without a hardware, without the motherboard, without this particular system support, software is not going to work. So now what is the solution to this? Every time technology is changing, what is the solution to it? You have heard about the cloud, Google Cloud, or your, if you have Apple, some of you, I will give examples that are we can understand, okay, we can relate. Let us take example of a Apple. Now Apple have so many devices. Apple have mobile phone also, Apple have laptop also, Apple have tablet also, Apple have this also, Apple have this music player also. Once you upload something in any of the Apple device, you can discover your files from another device. That is itself a Apple. So Apple support this technology to technology transfer, intra technology transfer. Similarly, recently you have, if you have purchased Samsung mobile phone and you have already one existing Samsung mobile phone, you have a existing Samsung mobile phone. So when you buy a new Samsung mobile phone, then your that particular place where you buy the phone, they will ask you whether you want to keep your data, whether you want to keep your contacts. If you tell yes, then they use particular way to transfer everything back from your Samsung phone to the new Samsung phone. Yes. So that means that particular phone, that particular device that you are about to exchange, that particular hardware, it has been made, some compatibility has been developed. Okay. Similarly, some more examples, um, where we can and some examples like Samsung mobile phone. If you have Samsung TV in your house and you have a Samsung mobile phone, I don't have a Samsung TV, but I am giving this example. If you have your in your house or in your access, you have, if you have a Samsung mobile phone and if you have a Samsung TV, that is the new latest Samsung TV, then there is a option called smart screen. So when you share your, you can project your mobile screen into your television. That is, if you have a Samsung TV and your smartphone is also Samsung, that is a option in the Samsung mobile, that is called smart TV, or sorry, the smart screen or smart view. So using that, you can project your mobile screen into the TV screen. Okay, and you can use it like a means you can use it with a bigger screen, or you can, means it's like a projector from a mobile phone to your screen. Now how is this happening? Wireless. There is no wire. You don't have to connect any USB, you don't have to connect any connection adapter, no physical connection. Wireless, through the internet it is happening. It is happening from the internet. So now when we write, when now let us come back to Java. So when we write a Java program, it will be essential for us to write softwares that can execute in all different kinds of machine, now if you you are a computer science student in future, after 2 3 years you will use technologies related to artificial intelligence, where automatic cars are going to come. Automatic cars are in the market, but when you pass out, and when you do your pass out, when you go for job, then the most advanced technology will be your artificial intelligence. Automatic car, automatic fridges, automatic air conditioners, your home air AC, if you have, most of the air conditioners are automatic. If you have a refrigerator, then most of the refrigerators are automatic. If you have microwave, most of the microwaves are automatic. And if you have TV is also nowadays comes in the Android company. If you have observed, if you go to a, now what you do, you go to a TV shop nearby, just you do random, ask them, don't tell them you are a student, just ask them what are the new brands of TV, what are the support softwares. You will be astonished to learn that what technology has come, what means the Android TV has come from Android. So your TV and your smartphone, you can make it them compatible. So TV is also smart. TV has come from Android. Now when we tell TV is a Android, that means what app you can install in your mobile. You have you download Facebook app, you download YouTube app, you download some Google Classroom app, you download Zoom app, you download in your smartphone, yes or no? So your smartphone is an Android version. You can upgrade your Android version. If you have, see, if you have to change your smartphone, you have to change only when you have to change hardware. If you have to upgrade the Android from Android 9 to Android 10 or Android 11 or Android 12, you have to go to the that particular shop. You have to tell them I want to upgrade Android. And if you get a Wi-Fi, then free update of the Android. Our software is updated. So now television also has this Android. So whatever app you can install in your mobile, same software, same app you can install in television. Android based television. If you don't understand, or if you don't aware of it, you go to a television shop, you go to electronic shop, and just ask them, just tell me about this Android based television. Okay, just see it and come back. Okay, or just see into the features and come back. It will help you. I have not seen it, but as you are a student, it will help you. Okay, it will help you, lot of knowledge you will get if you just converse with the shopkeeper, what is this Android based television. You have seen Android based smartphone, just explore yourself, just ask them what is this feature, try to connect your phone to the TV, and just go to the shop 10 15 minutes and come back. Okay, this is one of the assignment you can do, and I will give this as a official assignment later on. So this is one of the advantage. Another example is if you have bought, if some of your friend don't get bored. Okay, I'm just starting to give examples so that you can relate and understand. So when you buy a new car, when you are buying a car, when you buy car nowadays, your cars have Android based music system. Yes or no? If you have observed, some of the cars come with Android based music system. You can download any app, you can install any app in the Android based music system. So we have discussed Android based smartphone, we have discussed Android based television, you have discussed Android based music system. 3 examples sufficient, there will be more in the coming future. Okay, but just today for 3. Now how to write program? If we have now Android based laptop we don't have, but we will still, it will not be much delay to get a Android based laptop. Okay, now how to write the program for this Android based laptop? These are software. Who developed this Android based software? It is Facebook is a software, it is a application. How to develop Android based application? Have you ever asked yourself? Okay, no worry. If you don't know how to write program for Android based application, then I'll tell you it is because of Java. Java is the language that is used to write Android based programming. Okay, Java is a language, it is used to write Android based programming. So now you see in this block diagram, Java program written in Windows, you can the same execution can happen for Linux also and Mac also. Once you write a Java program in Windows, you can execute in Windows, Unix, Mac. This is a very old block diagram. Here you can add Android. So now Java program, if you have done Android courses or if you have done Android programming, YouTube, lot of free lessons you will get on Android programming. Lot of free if you have not done, after you complete Java, then you can understand Android much better. Android is a fully Java based programming. So when you write a program and when you want to execute it, see your smartphone is not having such capacity as a television. Your television set will not be a 64-bit octa-core television. You will it be a 64-bit octa-core, means your octa-core Pentium this television. Then the cost of the television will be same like the smartphone. Okay, try to understand the smartphone specification. Whatever the specification of your smartphone, if it is same with the television, if it is same with the Windows, with the Android music system, then cost of everything will be same. If the specifications are same, so cost will also be same, but cost is not same. The cost of a smartphone, Android based smartphone, may be 5,000, 6,000, but a cost of a television, Android based television, will be 80,000, 90,000, 1 lakh, like that, very high. And cost of Android based stereo system in cars, it will be also like in this range only, mid range, 20,000, 30,000. So price is different. Price is different means platform is also some different, not exactly same, maybe higher, maybe lower, but platform is not the same. So when we tell about this mobile, this have little higher capacity than the television. This mobile has little higher capacity than the television, as compared to mobile has higher capacity than the your stereo these systems. Then when their platforms are different, because the cost is different, so the platform is also different. So when the platforms are different, how to develop program for them, how to, when you will go to a software company, you will have to develop some software for television. Then where will you write your program? You will write your program in a laptop only. You will first have to write your program in laptop, then from the laptop you convert it and put into the devices. So how to do it? So you will use Java program. Then once the program is written, the same program without doing any changes, it can be converted into this multi-platform environments, whether it be Unix or Mac or Android. Now now uh, coming back to this hardware, that when we have to upgrade a mobile, we change the mobile. When we have to upgrade a software, we download the software, we update the software. But when you have to update a hardware, we have to exchange the mobile. There is no other way. But just think of a situation where the hardware itself is like a software. Okay, so when the hardware is also is a software, then if you have to update the hardware, then you update the software. You don't have to make any changes in the hardware. Now what we mean by uh, mapping hardware into software, that means it is a virtual machine. It's a virtual machine. When we install something into the system, the Java program, it installs a virtual system. It installs a, when we install Java, when you will install Java in your laptop, your Java will install a virtual PC. It will not use the same PC that you are using. When you install the Java, it will install itself a virtual machine, and you will not be aware of it. But if your system is a low end system, suppose your system is a very low end system, Windows XP or Windows 7, then you don't have to worry about it, because Java, when you install the Java, it installs a virtual system that is much higher. So you don't have to worry about that whether my Java program will be supported or not supported. It may be slow, it may be fast, that is different, but you don't have to upgrade anything, you don't have to upgrade any software. So when you install the Java, it will install a virtual system, it will install a virtual machine. So when you run a program that is based that is that is based on a mobile phone, then your Java will install a virtual mobile phone in your laptop. You will not be aware of it. When you run your program, suppose you are writing a program, so when you write a program for a Android mobile phone, so when you install this particular Java, it will also install a virtual mobile phone. Understand, it will install a virtual machine, that is called JVM. Same program, if you want to run for a television, you have to give some command to the Java. It will install a virtual television. It will install a virtual television in your laptop, and you will not be aware of it. And when you run the program, your program will be all errors will be given if there is an error, and output will be given if your program is correct. And this particular software, it will be, you will not be aware of it, it will be in the background. So Java is very much popular because of this provision, that when you install a Java, it installs a virtual machine. Now by default, if you are running a program in Windows, there is a concept of default. Okay, everywhere there is a concept of default. So when you are running a program in Windows, by default your Java will be Windows, but you can change it to Unix, that is up to the you can change it to Mac, that is up to you can change it to Android, that is up to you. That is the virtual machine. that is the virtual machine that the Java will use, you can change it. That is up to the choice of the user. Like when we install, where every software gives us option what we want to install, yes or no, check mark. Then after that we do start installation. So like that, when you install the Java, it will give you option. If you don't choose anything by default, if you have download Windows for Java, you will get the Java Windows based virtual machine. If you run Unix, if you are install a Java in a Unix, and you will get a virtual machine for the Unix, that is by default. But if you want to upgrade from the Unix to Windows, then you will have to give instruction to the Java. So suppose you are in a Unix based system, and you are install the Java, so and you give it the instruction to run a virtual Windows. So Java will install a virtual Windows. Java will install, but you will not be aware of it, and you cannot execute it without executing Java. First you have to open the Java, and when you open the Java, then only it will run the virtual Windows. You will not be aware of it. You will not be allowed to run this virtual Windows without running the Java first. First you have to run the Java, and this particular virtual machine will be only for Java. You will not be able to use it for other purposes. It will only be for Java and Java based applications. So when you install Java, you will get a option to install a virtual machine. When you install Java, you will get a option to install a virtual machine. This virtual machine, it depend upon you what kind of a virtual machine you want. Whether you want a music system, whether you want a television set, whether you want a washing machine, AC, or virtual machine means digital machine, whatever you can imagine. Whether you want a car engine running machine, that means what digital cars or the stereo system or more you. Once you do the choices, your Java will be installed, and by default, when you are not doing any changes, if you install Java for Windows, the virtual machine is also for Windows. If you install Java for Unix, virtual machine is also for Unix. That is the default. When you write a program in Java, then only thing is you have to, suppose you want to test how your operating system Java based program will look like in a Unix, then what you have to do, can you tell? Just you have to change the virtual machine from Windows to Unix and run the same program. You don't have to make any change in the program. Then you have, suppose you want to test how your program will look like in a Android TV, then you have to download, or you have to suppose upgrade the Java virtual machine, or makes the choice. There will be lot of choices available. Then what is the virtual machine you want to select, but the program you don't have to change it. The Java virtual machine, there will be lot of options. You have to choose one of the option. It may be a Android smartphone, it may be a KitKat smartphone, it may be a whatever Android 9 smartphone, it may be a Android 10 smartphone, it may be a Android based TV, it may be a Unix based system or a Mac. Any one of them you can choose and see how your program will look in that. Then similarly, so you can do it. So today we will stop here. We have discussed about virtual machine, what is a virtual machine, and Java is a virtual based virtual machine based programming language. So it is very popular, because you may be using a Windows machine, but using a Windows machine, you can write programs for your mobiles, you can run programs for your TV. Specifically, if the TV supports Java, that means Java means Android is programmed using Java. So Android means it can run Java. Your smartphone, you can download a Java program, you can execute in your smartphone. Okay, you can download a Java based program, you can execute in your smartphone. So when you run a Java program, you can execute it depending upon what kind of a virtual machine you want to select. So these virtual machines, they give you lot of options to run and test your program in different platforms without actually purchasing the hardware yourself, without actually making a expense and buying the software, buying, sorry, the hardware. So Java, when you write a Java without buying the hardware, without buying a Windows PC, without buying a Unix PC, without buying a Android smartphone, without buying a Android TV, you can see how your output will look like. And when you are satisfied, then you can market it, or then you can buy some really a hardware and install and run your software. But for testing, you can test it without buying any physical hardware. So your Java Windows operating system help you to do your experiment in Windows as well as other platform. Similarly, if you are running a Unix or a Mac, some of you may be having Apple, you Mac. So similarly, when you run a program in Apple Mac, you will be able to use the virtual machine for Windows and see how program looks in Windows, and you can also do how the change and see how it looks in Unix. Okay, so virtual machine. So Java uses a virtual machine. We will discuss the structure of the virtual machine next class. Okay.